So we're back in Wetlands Zone 1, and here is a passion flower, a maypop, or passiflora, passion fruit. Sometimes people intentionally say passiflora or passion flower when they're talking about non-edible, passiflora, and say passion fruit when it's something that's considered edible. Some of the hybrids, I think, do produce a limited amount of fruit that is edible, but they're not considered like high production. But this is maypop, passiflora incarnata, I think. I have planted this like 2 or 3 times in other areas, and it did not take off. So I don't have high expectations for this, but at least I got these here for pretty cheap. So it's probably a little more sunny. Maybe the root density in the ground is a little less. It's good, a moist area, and it has like trees and fences it could kind of climb up and climb around on, kind of like where the dewberries and all climb around, and the Japanese honeysuckle and Virginia creeper and all that stuff. And yeah, I know Japanese honeysuckle is invasive, but we will probably cannot eliminate the honeysuckle because it's so invasive, but you can at least hopefully keep it in check. Let's take a look at this little banana mound here. That guy doesn't look so hot. It'll probably come back up. The supposedly Brazilian black plantain has finally started shooting some shoots out, and we finally got another pumpkin coming out there. Actually there's 2 there. I think we planted 6 here, or maybe 6 and the already started seedling. I don't remember. Hot weather and all this rain should have things starting to sprout. Got this little aloe there. Soybeans getting big. I've got soybeans and stuff that have randomly just sprouted over here because I've thrown all kinds of stuff. Beans, like 2 or 3 types just everywhere. The birds probably got a lot of them just laying on top of the ground, but because I wasn't gonna, do like 5,000 beans and just, poke them each one in the ground. Put my passion flower right here. This wasn't my first choice of location, but there's a bean of some sort right there. There are some trees here. It's pretty sunny, even though there's a little bit of trees here and there on both sides, but not that much. It's probably between 70 and 90% sun, and that's the passion flower, the maple. Dead tree here that I think I'm gonna plant these 2 little pumpkins right around the perimeter, so it could kind of grow up top there and use it as kind of a trellis. Don't know if it'll actually do that or just crawl to somewhere else, because it's got all kinds of weeds and fallen trees and stuff. It can kind of follow that path. So I ended up planting them both together. I tried to separate them, but the roots were kind of just too close together. I probably should have separated them after they sprouted, or sprouted them in separate containers. I was going to put some more like compost and stuff in, but that rotten tree right there and the roots there were already composted or composting, so they should hopefully provide some food for them. We'll probably still fertilize them and add some stuff to it if they take off. I've got this 6th Street, which is, I guess, a kind of a North Florida named cultivar that was found mulberry, and I got it for a decent price, and we're gonna try this one and maybe 1 or 2 other ones over time here. As you can see though, there are mulberry seedlings everywhere around here, so we really don't want to mix and forget what's what. So we're gonna have to keep the name tag around. We'll probably pull these and sooner or later and put them in pots and just give them to somebody like we did the last 5 or 10 or whatever we gave. And there's another one right there. And I see another one over there, and there's probably some that are 2 or 3 or 6 inches that, you know, are under the weeds. So we've put this mulberry, 6th Street mulberry, in a different location. It's about 10 foot from where I originally was wanting to do it. Sometimes you just put the shovel in the ground and it's too hard to dig or something, but I determined that there's going to be probably two persimmons here, American persimmons most likely, and I'm going to put them in the middle section here. I didn't want this big tree, which I'm going to keep pruned small, to, like, you know, over time not get any sun. So we put it closer to the edge of the fence here, and it'll probably be 12 foot or 20 foot from American persimmon. I got this red strawberry guava, cattley guava, and I've got 2 of them. So the guy I got it from said, you know, you want to put it probably with some protection around some oak trees or something. So even though they probably do better, you know, down south in the full sun, we're going to put this guy in pretty heavy shade to try to give it some protection from the north winds, and a good chance it won't get a lot of, you know, of the southern sun or anything, or possibly it may get the sun when it's like straight up in the air and a little bit to the west, but pretty much no eastern sun and little or no southern sun. Got a little area here where all these Bidens and stuff are that I'm not even going to weed eat it, I don't think, but I'm going to put some, like, maybe some composted or you know, half rotted wood in there with it, because they say these guys really like a lot of compost, manure, mulch, you know, wood mulch and stuff. If I can dig there with a shovel, we'll put it there, and it's got elderberries and stuff there, which they're you know, they don't, the oldest wood really doesn't just rot to the ground, even if it, like, dries up. But of course it probably won't have its leaves, you know, in the wintertime, or many, but it might give it some protection. And there's another layer of elderberries back there. Slight protection from the north wind with these, and a little bit of fencing and stuff. That fencing will probably go down over time, but, you know, we might have stuff growing taller over there. So I really don't know how this is going to turn out, but I could put it over there, but I don't know. I could do it way back there where my tea plants are. You can see this is a completely, like, unscripted things. I'm making decisions, or trying to make decisions, on camera here, and sometimes I, you know, cut from saying, okay, I'm gonna plant it here, to, oh, here it is in a different area. These guys here are 13.5 or so foot at the top for the tallest plants, and they grow every single day. I don't know how big they're going to be before they stop. So this is our red or strawberry cattley guava in the ground. Completely different place. I've got an oak tree and various trees here, so I'll just put it kind of in the corner back here on the east side. I put some you know, organic you know, half composted and rotting wood and stuff, you know, from old trees that fell in the hole to help feed it, you know. And kind of since they're not super expensive, you know, I'll probably experiment with more of these later. I've got one more left I might put in full sun, or I might put way on the other side of over there somewhere, or somewhere else. But I wouldn't mind having like 8 or 10 or 15 of these guys, but I know the guy didn't have too many of the strawberry ones left, maybe just a few. But yeah, maybe next year I'll have a bunch and we can buy like 10 or 20 of them from them. All right, so I guess that's it for this episode of Wetlands Zone 1. Still mushrooms all over the place here.